Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. They just released their gameplay trailer for this, and a lot of people have been looking forward to this. A lot of people who have no idea what Armored Core is. So hopefully I can clear that up for you and tell you what I see. I've been playing Armored Core for a long time. I have great memories of playing it with my friends on the PlayStation and hooking up the split screen and putting the cardboard between so we can't screen peek each other, all that sort of stuff. Lots of fun. They've made a ton of titles like this, and they've basically all been the same game over and over again. That's been the biggest complaint. They look a little bit better. They add maybe one or two new features. They had huge gameplay and control upgrades over the years, but overall it's been pretty clunky and something you get used to. And that's why this game, Armored Core, has always been a niche title. You have to be into robots, you have to be into building robots, because the gameplay has always been, the mechanic, the core game has always been pretty basic. You build a robot, you go into preset environments, you kill a bunch of little robots, you fight a boss, and you get more parts to make your robot better. That's basically all this game is. So when I saw something like this in the trailer, I'm like, no way in hell they're going to let you fly across that open terrain with the mountains and trees in an Armored Core game, because they never have before. The game has never been like that. It's not an open world. It's not like Elden Ring. It's not story driven. There's a little bit of a story. Sure, there is a story, but it's not going to meet modern game standards like Last of Us or God of War or anything like that, or Elden Ring. See, he just went from one pre-made set piece to another. And that's what this game is. One thing that I've seen that they did improve, which you'll see in a moment, is the targeting system. I don't think there was a lock-on mechanic in old Armored Core 6 games, and thank God they did that, because I know a lot of people are going to pick this game up and it's just not going to be for them. But without this lock-on, a lot more people would have given up on it quickly. So that's a nice addition. Before, I believe you had to do all the aiming yourself, and your head had like a lock-on system, but as long as you put your target within the box, the game would auto lock on it for you, but you still had to move it around. You never had your camera be moved for you. Another concern I have for this is that the engine itself looks pretty old. I think a lot of reviewers are going to say that this looks like it's a 10-year-old engine, because it does to me. I want to show you a couple of things with the lighting. First of all, we've got a spotlight coming from the top, which is the sun, and that's casting the shadow on the legs of the main AC right here. AC is the robot name, Armored Core, if you're not familiar. And so we got that one spotlight coming down. Right now we have a point light emanating from the inside of the robot that's blowing up. A point light is just a light that starts in this one source and then goes in a sphere outward and then just has like a complete fall-off point. And you can see the edge of the fall-off point right there. You know, pretty easy to understand. Now, a modern game engine would have dynamic lighting. This engine does not appear to have dynamic lighting. It just has those basic lighting things. So in a dynamic lighting engine, you would expect when the robot explodes for a new shadow to be cast behind the main AC there, coming off like the back of the feet there. And now we'll watch it in slow motion and see if that happens. In fact, we'll see it not happen. Big boom, nothing. Watch it again, you'll see that the ground lit up. There's a bump map or normal map going on. That is a effect making the ground look textured and cast shadows, but it's really just an effect. The ground is flat, but there's a different layer that creates shadow effects on it. It's called a normal map. And that's working fine. All games have that. That's great. But there's no dynamic lighting, as you can see from the explosion again. Look for dynamic lighting. That large white flash from the sword should have caused it too. Blows up, no lighting happened behind him. So this has old regular lighting, no dynamic lighting in this game. So yeah, we're dealing with an older game engine and the same old Armored Core mechanics. But you know what? They never said it wasn't just the same old Armored Core. But then again, A lot of people are expecting something different or new or looking or feeling like a modern game. I don't think they're going to get this from this game. Also, this looks new, which is kind of cool. Unaware. I don't think there were ever any unaware like AI statuses of the enemies in this game before. They're just enjoying a campfire, but he's going to be an asshole and shoot him right in the back. There you go. How dare you contemplate your life by that campfire? And yeah, they're showing off the boosting mechanic, which is cool. Movement in Armored Core has always been great because it's got like a medium skill floor. It takes a little bit to get used to, which is cool because you actually feel like you learned something. And then once you get good at it and really, get used to moving around, you can get very good at it, which is great for multiplayer, fighting against people, because movement is huge in multiplayer. And it has to do with building your AC as well, because you've got to contend with your energy levels, your boost output, the weight of your mech, and all these things. And because you want to have heavy weapons too, but you're trying to balance all these things to balance your firepower and mobility, which has always been a really cool part of the game. And I'm sure they're going to nail it here too, because they've always done that part right. Yeah, let's skip ahead. We got boss battles here. That's kind of cool. I'm sure they're going to have lots of nice big bosses. This is basically a bullet hell we're looking at. And I don't know if you know this, but when you're fighting this boss right here, it's not really the boss that's your main enemy. It's your boost meter on the bottom. As you play these games, you'll see that. Look on the bottom of the screen there, the red boost meter, turning red. It's going up really quick, though, which is nice. If it didn't go up so fast, it would definitely be a pain. But that's what you're really contending with, is because if you could be infinitely mobile, the game would be super easy, but it's that boost meter that you're always trying to manage. And this is the best part of the game right here. Just customizing the mechs. You've got your right arm, left arm, the two back units. And this is the core story mode of the game. You'll see is going through the missions, unlocking parts, putting new parts on there. And then that's what's so much more fun is what's so much fun about the game is you'll have your mech built a certain way, and then you'll unlock a new engine or power source that lets you put on way more than you used to, and like opens up the limit for boosting and energy weapons, and that's always been a really good fun part of the game. Here's your example of your lack of storyline. You've got the missions are going to be some guy talking with text on the bottom and still pictures, and that's probably as deep as it's going to get, because the game's never been about telling a story or anything. It's just about flying a robot around and blowing up robots. And I think this is what's going to disappoint a lot of people the most. They're going to be like, wait, this just feels like a game from 10 or 15 years ago where you just like build a robot and you go in a stage and you blow up robots, then you blow up a bigger robot, then you unlock parts, then you build your robot again, then you go in a stage, then you fight little robots again. And yeah, that's all it is. That's all it's ever been. And I'm afraid that's going to disappoint people. And they went all out with the giant robots and stuff. Hit the part on this guy. He's going to become a new stage that you go on top of him and then fight another boss on top of him. I mean, it's cool. This is great. I'm going to enjoy the game because I know what it is. So I got no complaints there. I thought this part was a little misleading. It says, now welcome to this part. You're going to have allies with you as well. Notice they're called ally. Okay, if a game was going to talk about multiplayer, they would specifically say, hey, check out this multiplayer. Look at this. It's going to be great. Play with your friends. But they are not explicitly saying it here. In fact, they're called ally. If they're going to show off multiplayer gameplay, they would have had like fake names like Joe Smith 82 or something like that. But no, this is just the regular. I mean, they already made AC artificial intelligence for fighting you, so all they've really done here is made it on your team instead of against you. So not a big deal. Now it would be cool if you could customize the ACs that fight along with you, because theory crafting ACs is a lot of fun in this game. you'll think of one design, then like another, like, oh, I want this tank one with this weapon, or this weapon's really cool, and I'll use the four legs with it. Now, if you could customize your own ACs to be your partners in the game, that would be really, really cool. But they didn't mention that, so we can't assume that it'll happen. And yes, you do one-on-one AI battles with other ACs too. Nine Ball, he always shows up. Overall, it's good that it's going to get to a lot of people. That's really cool. But what's sad is that a lot of them are going to be disappointed because they're going to expect an Elden Ring type thing, and they're not going to expect such a shallow, basic robot game like this is. I'm not trying to shit on it, but that's what it is. But yeah, good that it will reach so many people, but I have a feeling a lot of them will be disappointed because they don't know what it is. All right, that's about it. Let me know what you think.